Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Recycling and Litter Prevention.
Welcome to Fairfield Today, at least the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities edition. Today we're in the friendly confines where it's nice and warm inside, and we're talking about spring gardening, which is kind of interesting at this time of the year, Ray. But my guest is Ray Schmidt, who is the Program Services Manager here at the Opportunity Center. Ray, welcome to the program once again.
Good to be here again. Thanks, John.
And we're talking about hyper-tufa pots.
Hyper-tufas.
I know I'm going to mess it up as we go on with the rest of the show because I've been calling it tofu and loofah and everything else, but this is an idea that Deb Will picked up. Deb Will is the head of our green machine group out here.
Right.
And she's been a gardener for probably longer than she can remember.
A long time. She's got creativity just coming out of her pores. Okay. The hyper-tufas are a pot really that occurs naturally in nature. It's limestone gets etched away, and you get these nice little pots. Well, the deal is that Deborah found a way on the web where you can create your own. From a series, it's a mixture of peat and Portland cement, and so one thing led to another, and this is where it started.
So she made a few just as kind of an activity, and then as things changed here, now there's an opportunity for this to be a marketable process, and we're selling these things.
Yeah. I mean, I think earlier, or in 2012, I think we had one of your shows featured our garden out next to our building. And what happened with the Green Machine was that they partnered with the OSU Master Gardeners and Jackie Marion. Right. And Jackie is just a very powerful force, and she's wonderfully creative. And so she saw some of these hyper-tufas, loved them, took them up to a friend of hers in Canal Winchester, and sold them at her place. And to date, we've sold over $500 worth of these fairy gardens.
That's awesome.
And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful thing.
And the process, again, we're kind of probably watching how these are made, but it's equal parts Portland cement, vermiculite, and peat mixed with water into a consistency kind of like cottage cheese. They form it into plastic forms that are lined with texture, creating material. We get 4 or 5 people throughout the entire process. They're having a blast. They're learning things, and they're working on their math skills and a lot of things. So it comes together into this pot. In a little while, we're going to talk to Jackie, and Jackie's going to show us how they actually put the dirt in the pots. The master gardeners have donated plants. They supply plants. Jackie is making these really neat little stick furniture that looks like the kind of stuff you'd see on some log cabin porch. They're making little clay figurines, little angels and fairies and things.
Yeah, it's
and the end product is these really neat. Now, tell me again now. You've just been working on how to turn this into an enterprise, so the folks here who are doing the work will get a bit of a paycheck.
Yeah, so this is part of an overall change here at the Opportunity Center. We've gone from being really a 1 or 2 client shop to being the kind of thing where we want to try to offer a bunch of different alternatives, and then find whenever we can a way to make those things that people find that they love to do, make it into something where they can make some money at it. In some cases, it'll be hobby money. In some cases, it may be something serious. In this case, this was just supposed to be a little hobby project, but over the course of 1 month, selling $500, well, that can be
pretty good hobby.
That can be a good hobby, and it can turn into something even better. So what we're doing is right now, to start with, there will be teams of people who will make each one of their fairy gardens. And then we'll attach that number of that fairy garden to the people who've worked on it. So when we sell that fairy garden, the profits come back to those individuals. They split the money and go on. So if you're involved in a bunch of different fairy gardens and they all sell, you get paid for each one.
Awesome. And the money now is kind of going back into this program, and we're working with Jackie and the other master gardeners to really expand the outdoor garden project once we hit spring. and then plant a larger area. Jackie has some ideas of making a flower garden and a produce garden, and working on ideas to get our folks to have their produce sold at farmers markets, and trying to find different markets for the things that we can sell. So very creatively pulling together. Everyone here loves to work in the garden and get their hands dirty. So now it's an opportunity for them to make some money out.
Yeah, and the goal, of course, is to get large enough so that we can start paying people hourly wages to work on the garden, work as part of an employee at our own garden.
Awesome.
So that's the goal.
Awesome. Well, we're going to now take a look at how we've seen the pot made, and we've been seeing some of the other pots that are already finished, and we're going to now have Jackie and some of her team explain how they put the garden together, and then we're going to finish the show in Canal Winchester at a retail store called Cornersmith, which is right in downtown, right on the square in downtown Canal Winchester, and we'll tell you a little bit more about how you can buy one of these things. All right, now we've seen how the tufas,
right?
I know I'm going to call it tofu or loofah or something before it's over with, but now that we see how the tufas are made, and it takes, what, a couple weeks for them to dry, and then they're ready to go. And then Jackie, this is Jackie Marion. She's a member of the Weeders, Master Gardeners from Fairfield County. Jackie's Canal Winchester, or?
I am a Canal Winchester native,
Okay.
Absolutely.
And you've been coming down here for the better part of the last 8 months or year or so to help these folks?
We have. We started in the gardens, and then this winter now we're working on planting these tufas and selling them.
Okay. Well, talk me through the process here. Aaron's going to start with putting some dirt in, right?
Aaron's going to fill us up with dirt. That's the first thing we do.
I spread it.
Margaret comes in and spreads it.
More. We need more, Aaron. We're going to need to fill it up. Probably one more.
So what's your potting mixture here? Is this something that's
It's
set up for indoors or outdoors?
Fertilizer.
well, you can use it for either. It's a dirt with vermiculite in them because vermiculite holds the moisture and loosens up the dirt. One more, Aaron. Sorry. Now the next thing we do is select our plants, and we picked some before you came over here that we thought would be pretty in here.
The magic of television.
Right, exactly. And this is an indoor plant. There's a few things we'll plant in here that are perennials.
This is nice. What is
These?
this?
I couldn't even begin to tell you. It's
What's
a
this?
pretty plant. No, we don't want that one.
What about this one?
No, we don't want that one either, Margaret. We decided to put one of these air ferns in because they're kind of light and airy and make it really nice. That's also an indoor plant and would die in the winter outside. Next thing we're going to do is add some ground cover. This is sedum, and this is just out of my front yard.
I was going to say, I could probably give you all the sedum you want.
We like
have
it
that everywhere.
because it adds a little interest here. I think that's maybe about all we're going to put in here. Oh no, we were going to add this in. This
is that a little succulent?
Yeah,
type
this
thing?
is a little succulent. You're exactly right, John.
I'm not nearly as dumb as I look.
No, I'm impressed. Okay, so now Elizabeth's going to come in here and
Okay,
cover
Elizabeth.
the bare dirt with moss.
I always do the moss.
And that holds the
You're the moss
moisture
queen,
in
huh?
and just gives
Yep.
it some interest.
I'm always the moss queen. Always put moss in for her everywhere.
The moss is also just
It's
out
my
of the
first
yard.
time.
Here's
So now these little, in a couple seconds here, we're going to see some little fairies and little stick furniture. Jackie, you do the furniture, right?
I make the furniture, and everyone down here does the hard work and makes these really cute fairies. So these become fairy gardens, which is a big trend in gardening right now. Then Margaret's going to do a little path of stones in here.
Okay, let's get the stones going.
I have an
Margaret.
idea.
So Margaret, let's get you in here. So it makes it look more like a little setting. So Margaret, let's put some stones like right into here, okay?
Elizabeth,
Right
let's
in
trade
here?
places, buddy. So Margaret, you're kind of making it almost look like a little creek going through there.
Yep,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
it's a path. It's like a dry creek bed.
I thought about going like diagonally like this.
Now put some like in here, okay?
Okay.
So that gives a little bit of visual interest. And
Right. And then now Richie's going to come over here, and he's the. Where's your paintbrush, Richie? Huh? Where's your paintbrush? Did you lose it?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it in your pocket. Okay.
yeah.
Richie's going to clean up the edges here by just
Wait till I did.
getting all the dirt back in, and then we'll have Aaron put water back in because we need some moisture in here.
so this is really a team effort.
It is,
Yeah.
and everybody has their little chores they do, and it works out great.
What do you think of my job I did?
We saw
did a
all
nice
these guys
job.
doing, working on this whenever they made the one. That,
This is my very first time.
will you then add you have a little fairy and a chair there that you're going to pop
we
in there?
Every
Oops.
one of our gardens has a fairy in it. And that guy survived.
Got
So
little
we're going to
wings and
add a
everything?
little. Yeah, he's got wings. We're going to add this little rocking chair and a fairy, and we're done after Aaron waters. So
We want to give it a little,
oh yeah, we're going to add.
little Valentine's
thank you,
theme
John.
for us.
Decoration.
We'll add that
Look at
for
that.
Valentine's Day. So
right.
thank you, Richie.
Well, there you have it. A ready-made hyper tofu that's now being watered. Now I said it wrong again, didn't I?
No, hypertufa.
Hyper tofu. See, I knew I was going to
That's
say it
good,
wrong.
that's
Tofu, tofu. T-U-F-A.
Tufa. Yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to be in Canal Winchester, and we're going to talk about how some of these things have been selling through the Christmas season, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how it's going to benefit all the folks who work here at the Opportunity Center. All right, welcome back to Fairfield today. We've moved to Cornersmiths, a store at 1 South High Street, which is the corner of High Street and Waterloo in Canal Winchester. And Carm Smith is the proprietor here, and their tagline I think is kind of neat: rethinking styles and tastes, old, new, and in between. So I guess what we're doing is taking something old, making it new, and selling it, and it turns out really cool. Jackie, let's get back to you. Just tell us a little bit about how the whole process of becoming a master gardener and how you got involved in doing so much volunteer work.
Well, the process of becoming a master gardener, we worked through. There's several of us, by the way, that are in the group called the Weeders, and we all went to a session down at Ohio State University branch in Lancaster, Ohio, with Connie Smith, who is the the lady that does the program down there. And when you you go through like 6 or 8 weeks of training about different kinds of things that relate to growing vegetables and fruit trees and plants. And part of the mission then of a master gardener is to do community service. And Connie asked us last year to get involved in the developmental center in Lancaster, and we did and loved the experience. So we were able this fall then, when Deborah Will came up with this idea to make these wonderful containers to help them plant these containers. And we made little fairy gardens, which are really big right now in the gardening world. The little fairies are made by the team members of the Green Machine down there, and then we help them actually plant the garden. And the wonderful thing is that we have this local outlet, Cornersmiths, where Carm allows us to sell them.
Okay. And sell them, you have been doing.
We have. We
as
had
we said
a
earlier, you sold more than $500 worth of them over
the Christmas
season.
holiday. Yeah, it was
And
great.
now you're trying to kind of do some that are Valentine's themed, and
Right. We want to get involved in getting gifts for Valentine's Day. So that's our next project, and we'll be switching out our decor to Valentine's so people can buy them for Valentine's.
okay. Now, Ray, you're holding something that Jackie made, and
That's right.
Jackie.
Interior decoration for fairy gardens.
Okay.
Is what this is.
Yeah, most of our fairy gardens actually have twig furniture in them. And as a little sideline, we are making this twig furniture to raise money to plant the gardens at the development center this year. So Carm also sells those for us.
Okay. So all of the plants that the seeds and plants that you did last year at the garden at the Opportunity Center were donated.
Absolutely.
And there was just hundreds of pounds of produce. I know they ate salads throughout the entire summer and fall, and had a fall harvest and sent some things home with folks. And you're hoping to expand that, as we said, this year.
Yeah, we're going to put in 3 gardens this year, one for vegetables, one for flowers, and then one for what we call our future garden, which will be like asparagus and berries. And so we are very excited about it. Yeah, superfoods. And the team members down there are very excited. They told me today they can't wait to get back out in the garden.
Awesome. Well, you're not going to do much with 8 inches of snow on the ground.
No, but it'll melt.
It won't be too long, hopefully. Ray, tell us a little bit about how some of the future plans, without getting too specific, about where this whole project may go.
Well, the Green Machine, probably more than any other project we have right now, has really done a great job of connecting with the community, and that was really the goal of when we started these groups. And so, the fact that Jackie and her folks at the Master Gardeners have connected so well, and then we've also had the involvement of the Fairfield County Farm Bureau. And Chickadee Doo-Doo came in and did the fertilizer last year for the garden.
Say that again.
Chickadee Doo-Doo. I just love the name.
Me too.
We can just do
It's a natural fertilizer from
Chickens. It is.
Yeah.
chickens doo-doo. Very good.
Chickens make it on their own.
That's
That's the deal.
Unlimited supply, I'm sure.
That's right. But and then Keller Farms also donated a bunch of great topsoil for us, and it was just a wonderful event last year to watch all these groups come together and create this produce. So our goal now, and really Jackie's been leading the charge on this, is great. It was a nice idea, really turned out wonderfully. Now how do we make money doing it? Because at the end of the day, at the Opportunity Center, we want the people working on this project to be able to do this as a form of income. And so that's the goal. Mm-hmm. So we're looking to partner with restaurants and farm markets and those kinds of things to sell this produce and really create an income stream for people with disabilities.
Awesome.
That's our goal.
Okay.
I love to make money.
Don't we all? and we noticed whenever the folks were making the hyper tufas.
Hold on.
I'm getting better.
Very good.
It's probably must be getting to the end of the show, so it's fun, kind of good that I finally know how to say it. There's a real sense of pride in everything that they were doing, and then all of a sudden now we can make money doing this. This is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
it should be a lot of fun. Well, Jackie, thank you so much for joining us today
You're
and everything that
welcome.
you've been doing with us.
I've enjoyed
Ray?
the experience.
Good. Ray,
but I
thanks.
have another group of women that help me too. I don't want anyone to think that I'm the only one. There's a lot of dedicated master gardeners that are involved in this project.
Well, great. And we appreciate everything they do. And maybe once we get back into spring and summer and next fall, we'll come back and do some
Good.
more with you guys and
Good.
and watch you working in the garden and do a whole nother show on that.
We'll be there.
All right. Ray, thanks once again.
My pleasure, always.
All right. Until next month, this is John Bosser with the Fairfield DD edition of Fairfield Today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, and Lancaster Fairfield Community Action Recycling and Litter Prevention.